So welcome, Jake. How are you?
Hi, Matt. Hi, Arden. Thank you for taking my call. Um, I was just wondering because I usually have a good relationship with all my family members, but my Jehovah's Witness aunt and uncle keep persisting on you have to be a witness. We want you to be a witness. I'm just saying to them, look, I don't want to be because I have my own views and my own beliefs, and I'm happy with them. Can I leave? Can you just? They said no. You'll be destroyed at Armageddon. And I'm just thinking, what do I do? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to convince them that they're wrong. But at the same time, I don't want to ruin my relationship with them because they're actually quite nice to me apart from that.
Yeah, so like this is a thing that we talk about a lot in the atheist community, right? About learning how to set strong, like firm boundaries for yourself and to be okay with how they respond. So I think, the best thing you could do for yourself is say, maybe you're right. Maybe Armageddon will come and I will be destroyed. I don't think that's gonna happen. And so I'm not too worried about it. But regardless, I don't believe, and I'm not interested in debating this with you. So I would appreciate it if we could have a relationship where we just don't talk about that. That's a boundary for me. And if you continue to violate that boundary, you can set a new boundary. Say, okay, well then I'm not going to be coming over anymore. We'll just do like weekly phone calls or something. You can always ratchet your boundaries around what your personal needs are, but I definitely think it's important to try your best, rather, because it's not, communication's not a perfect system, but do your best to communicate exactly what your needs are, exactly what your boundaries are for what you don't want to have happening with them. And if they respect it, great. And if they don't, well then, you've told them what the conditions for a relationship with you were, and they made their choice.
Yeah, and I agree with what Arden's saying, but I had one quick question here, Jake, and that is, it on the call screener thing, it lists you as a theist. So am I correct that you have some God belief that is not Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah. I'm Church of England, so Protestant.
Sure.
So that's my belief.
It seems to me that in those types of situations, like I was a Southern Baptist and I had family members who were Catholic, and my mom convinced some of those Catholic people to give up Catholicism and become Southern Baptist. But I didn't do that. If I had family members who were coming after me and saying, "Oh, hey, you need to be a witness," I think I would very frankly just say, "Well, I already have this belief here, and I don't think that your belief's the true one." You could have the conversations with them about why you think your version's the right one, and they're going to come back with why they think theirs is the right one. I don't know how to win those arguments because my view is that you're both wrong.
Well, no, that's a good point. It's yeah, and Matt, I agree with you because my mum and dad are atheists, so that they say the same thing. They will say, yeah, I don't agree that either of you are right, so they can't really comment. They can't really comment on it. It's just
one thing you can do.
The cults.
One thing you can do, and this comes for setting boundaries when you're having the conversation with them, say, how would you guys feel if every time I interacted with you, I came to you to tell you your Jehovah's Witness stuff is bunk, it is blasphemy, and if you're not Church of England, you're going to rot in hell forever. And if they can't understand how you could come to them with a similar sort of view that they're coming to you with, and that neither of you can establish the truth any better than anybody else. So maybe it's best if we just drop it. You believe what you believe, I believe what I believe, and let's try to be happy and friendly outside of that. And if they can't, then, I've had to cut people out of my life. Mostly I let them cut themselves out of my life. But yeah, I don't have any better advice than that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the latter part of your comment was true. That's what I have said. I have said to them, look, this is what I believe. And they say, no, we're not going to accept that. We are not going to accept that you're Church of England. We will get you to do a Bible study with us. I'm like, no, you won't. And they're like, we will. It's just like, okay, I'm sorry. I want to have a relationship with my aunt and uncle, but they just will not accept where I stand, and it really hurts me. And my other family members are like, Jake, you know, you've got your own issues, you've got your own life, and if they don't want to accept it, then there is no, apparently there's probably no, it's not immoral for me to say to them, look, if you're going to be like this, then don't bother to call me then. Apparently that wouldn't be immoral to do that.
No, not at all. That people have to cut family members out of their life all the time, because unfortunately, as much as we would like to believe, you know, our family are supposed to be the ones who are there to support you and make you feel loved and welcomed and all that, some people's families aren't like that. And sometimes you have to set hard, uncomfortable boundaries with people that you may love dearly. And it sucks. It really does suck. And I don't want to minimize that at all,
Yeah.
because it's difficult to do. But it's absolutely not immoral for you to set a boundary with someone who's not respecting your needs, or the fact that they're causing you distress by bringing this up every time they talk to you.
Yeah. One thing that you two probably know, but something I found out recently is that they're actually told to do this by their leaders. My uncle is an elder, but they're actually taught the end of the world is coming, and you have to do this. So they're actually being told to do this, aren't they? They're not doing it off their, well, they are doing it off their own back, but
yeah, but I mean,
this is the case. And
you happen to be in one of the versions of Christianity that, no offense intended to you, although I'll offend C of E all day long and nobody will give a fuck, because nobody cares about C of E. C of E is one of the weakest, you know, hey, there's not really anything here. We're kind of like liking Jesus for the sake of liking Jesus. When I was a Southern Baptist, 1 Peter 3:15 is an obligation for all Christians to be prepared at all times to give a reason for the faith that's within them. And you're commanded by the Great Commission to go out and witness. These things are like non-negotiable. There's no way, even if I put my Jesus hat back on, there's no way in hell I could be Catholic or Church of England or JW. I mean, they're all ridiculously not consistent with my understanding of the Bible, but we can't get anywhere that way. And so I hate to say it, Jake, as much as it sucks, there are people who are no longer part of my life because they can't accept who I am. And most of them showed themselves the door. There are other people who are no longer part of my life because they can't accept something else about my life. In this case, like, I'm dating Arden. Sorry for anybody who didn't know.
What?
And yes, and anybody who won't accept Arden for who she is and won't accept us as a couple, they can go fuck themselves, because I'd rather be happy and spend time with Arden than be miserable having somebody badger me about that. And the same thing is true if I had relatives that were Jehovah's Witnesses that are like, we're going to get you into a Bible study. And I'm like, for me though, I'd be like, all right, bring it. I'll fucking do a Bible study with you right now. But that's because I have nothing to fear from a Bible study, because I know it. But you got to figure out where your boundaries are. And that's what Arden was saying earlier. You're going to have to set your boundaries. And if you want to put up with more than most people would, that's your prerogative. I wouldn't put up with any of it.
Yeah. And maybe I need to take a leaf out of your book, Matt, and say to these people, if you don't like who I am, then, and if you don't like my belief, then you don't have to stay, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that might be a way, but yeah, but congratulations to you both. I didn't know that.
It's been months. I'm just mentioning it, but thanks.
Well, I hope it's long and happy and full of joy, and I hope you don't get harassed like I was. So yeah, I hope. But yeah, no, thank you for your time, and thank you for your advice, and yeah, all the best to you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Awesome.